It has been said that Meghan Markle literally burst into tears upon hearing this. Of course, it's not been an easy time for Meghan, as one knows, but what really propelled her once again to tears? As ever, let me explain. Morning, lovely to see you here on a nice evening in London town. I always like to share this with you. It's quite mild actually. Yes, no, it's frightening, isn't it? I know this looks like the set of a Bela Lugosi film, doesn't it? Or Boris Karloff, depend. What do you mean I'm Boris Karloff? I can hear you, through this microphone. It does though, doesn't it? Very eerie. Just look, there's Parliament over there. All looks a bit, yes. Yeah, almost a bit strange, isn't it? I think I'm standing under some trees. That's why this sort of bad shadowy lighting. Well, that's what I'm blaming anyway. Let's get back to your royal story of the day. Now, yes, Meghan Markle burst into tears because, of course, nobody likes being attacked, do they? Particularly in public. And this has happened quite a few times now, all thanks to things that have happened. Recently, of course, the Hollywood Reporter, the Bible of Hollywood, basically said that Meghan was described by staff as a diva duchess, difficult duchess, demon duchess, all of that sort of thing. And those things stick. Perhaps the worst thing actually that happened for Meghan a while back was when her former bosses over at Spotify described her as being, well, grifters, but we know the prefix to that, right? And that really was very difficult to shake off because, of course, when you have people in power, that is very hard, seemingly because people then look at you and go, well, they're not afraid to say that and they have the money to take them on legally if they wanted to come back at it. Of course, there's two sides to every story. And as we saw recently, Meghan and Harry decided to visit the, aftermath, still ongoing sadly, of what's going over in Los Angeles with the terrible fires. Now this really backfired, as I told you, and there was a big steaming row behind the scenes. But then this happened. That's right, one of their own, some people might say, actress Justine Bateman from Family Ties is basically, well, how can you put it mildly? It's not a nice phrase. Now, according to a source, Meghan Markle and both Prince Harry are very concerned that this particular phrase will now be the latest prefix, this sort of tourist stuff or whatever, the phrase that they're going to affix it with. And you can understand this in a sense because this is possibly the worst kind of attack that you can get. Now, Justine isn't exactly an A-list Oscar-winning megastar, and I don't mean that rudely, but the fact that she's come out and said that very publicly, literally at this given time, just shows the negative feeling. Now, as far as I'm aware, they've not had a run-in, they've not had a brush, I don't even think they've ever met, but clearly she feels very strongly about this. As I pointed out in the recent video, Prince Harry was wise enough to realise it may be just a little too early. But Meghan always believes, as we saw with the shooting and all that sort of stuff, that she knows best. It must be annoying when she looks and thinks, well, perhaps if I'd have listened, of course, to my husband, Prince Harry, maybe this wouldn't have happened. But either way, it has. And now this is creating, shall we say, a lot more anxiety, upset, and more importantly, tears behind the scenes of those walls in that Montecito mansion. It's a good job she's got something else to look forward to, planning her comeback series, right? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.